All right, welcome back here to the Hill on NewsNation. At this hour, the U.S. Department of Education could be sending out reduction in force notices to its employees, with nearly half of the agency, at least according to some reports, could be cut. Employees. A senior White House official telling NewsNation the positions being cut will not affect Pell Grants, student loans, or core functions. It comes as the D.C. regional offices will also be closed Wednesday. According to a note obtained by NewsNation, employees will not be permitted in any education department facility tomorrow. All offices will reopen on Thursday. It comes as well as new anti-Israel protests are popping up near Columbia University once again. The Department of Education announcing it will investigate 60 colleges and universities for violations of anti-Semitic harassment and discrimination. The president has already pulled some $400 million in funding from Columbia University. And in a hearing up on Capitol Hill today, some Democrats are insisting that abolishing the education department will undermine that type of work.
Now, you mentioned Title VI. Disparate impact cases can only be brought by the Department of Education.
And to the idea about segregation in schools, the Department of Education actually protects civil rights.
The Republican congressman from North Carolina, Mark Harris, was at that hearing today. Member of the House Education Committee joins me live here on the Hill. Congressman, thanks for being with us. Appreciate the time, sir. We're a bit tight on time because of that vote. I know you understand. So let me start here. We're learning of reductions in force. How big should they be, in your view?
Reduction in, I'm sorry, reduction in what?
Employees. How many should be let go?
The reduction in the Department of Education?
Yes.
I think that's a question that is still yet to be answered. I think what you're seeing here is a department that the president has indicated that he wants to move toward really beginning to clean house, and it's a desperate need. I think we've looked at the scores that have come back, and really we've seen just a disaster since COVID as we've watched the scores come back and our children are not performing, whether it be in math, whether it be in reading, whether it be in civics or any of the other subjects. And the scores that the Department of Education itself has shown has really just lacked serious results. So I think like every other department that this executive branch is looking at their agency, they're going to review it, they're going to see what the needs are and where those cuts need to come. I don't know that there's a set number at this particular point.
You're in favor of abolishing the Department of Education, but it's not necessarily has widespread support within the Republican caucus when your colleagues in the last Congress were able to vote on abolishing the Department of Education. 6 House Republicans voted against it. So why do you think there's the appetite now?
Well, I think there's an appetite now because I think there's the possibility that people really see. And I think the statistics that I just talked about a few moments ago and where we've just seen a failure in so many ways. And I think this president has done a tremendous job of making his case in the last election that we just went through, that the Department of Education really and truly has not been able to perform at the federal level, that we need to be able, whether it be through block grants or whatever ways, to get the money back to the states and the local school boards, because the governance that governs closest to home most of the time governs the most effective. And I believe that's true in education, and I think that we're seeing an appetite for that. And I think in this Congress, there's a lot of questions being raised about it.
Congressman Mark Harris, we got to leave it there. We'll have you back again when we have a day in which there's not news all over the place. We could spend more time on this issue. Republican from North Carolina, thanks for being with us tonight here on the Hill. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Blake.
Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.